The following feature presentation is part of the SKYwalking Network.
Bam! Here we go! This is what you can look forward to on episode 410 of SKYwalking Through Neverland.
This show should come with a disclaimer. Please bring your own seatbelt.
We sold out before announcing a single guest.
To talk to him that day and to hear him say, you know, this is something great to look forward to after some tough times dealing with that nonsense.
We're not gamers, you guys, so let us know if you know what this is.
There won't be any signers at our event that are signing at Celebration.
Well, that's a unique twist. Yeah, another unique twist is it's the kickoff to Celebration.
I would like that they gave everybody who goes to that panel a free weekend on the Halcyon.
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland!
Here we go!
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets love.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Neverland that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! So, are you ready for Celebration Europe and the Boonta Eve Bash that will be happening in just a few weeks now? Well, either way, we will have you covered and prepped. But for right now, we want to welcome you once again to SKYwalking Through Neverland. I am Richard Woloski, but now everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife Sarah, who can speak for this show.
Yay! My voice is better. I am so happy. So thank you.
You're
everyone.
welcome. She drank gallons and gallons of tea and took echinacea and emergency.
And honey and all that fun stuff.
And stopped talking for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's a problem when you're a podcaster. It's hard to stop talking. All right, well, we are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, and Marvel fandom. So it's time for your weekly Wookiee hug and your little sprinkle of pixie dust for our family of Skywalkers. Now, coming up on this episode, Spencer Jowitz and Frank Rich from Boonta Eve will be joining us to give updates on the pre-celebration bash, Boonta Eve. There's so many signing guests to look forward to and surprises that they wouldn't even tell us about yet. Then we're going to go into some of the celebration panels that were just announced today and which ones we are looking forward to, as well as a few other celebration updates.
Now, we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations, and they are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency and can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world or on the Galactic Star Cruiser. And best of all, this service is free. Sarah, how much is this again?
Free of charge.
Free of charge, that is right. So head over there to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them SKYwalking Through Neverland sent you. All right, now we are recording this from Long Beach, California on March the 7th, 2023.
All right, Richard, what happened on March the 7th today in Star Wars history?
Well, let's go back 9 years to 2014. Because this was a really, really big day for fans of the Clone Wars. Because the entire series of the Clone Wars, including the feature film and the debut of Season 6, subtitled The Lost Missions, begins streaming on Netflix. Boy, were we busy that day.
Yeah, I think we began watching them in chronological order at that point.
There's so many ways to watch the Clone Wars.
Right, but in the order of timeline order.
Yeah, I think they may have released them in the chronological order.
Okay.
We'll have to go back in the notes or crack open another copy of Today in Star Wars History to find out. Now, the Clone Wars series is the first of any Star Wars content to be available on Netflix. And are you wondering why they didn't go to Disney Plus?
Well, 2019 was Disney Plus.
That's right. This is 5 years prior to
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
All right, well, speaking of 2019,
Mm-hmm.
what happened on March 7th, 2019?
Well, 4 years ago, the opening day of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is announced at the Disney shareholders meeting. The Disneyland Resort in Anaheim, California will open on May the 31st, 2019. And guess what they did? They stuck to that date.
They did.
Mhm. But Disney's Hollywood Studios in Orlando, Florida is set to open on August 29th, 2019. And guess what? They stuck to that date too.
Yes.
So this was a big day for us Star Wars Disney fans because we've been hearing so long about this Galaxy's Edge. What will it have? What will we see there? How much will we be immersed into this? So this day it was announced, okay, now we can start the countdown. Now we can start lining up over at the door at Disneyland. So the first phase of this opening, they were just going to have Smuggler's Run.
Right.
Yeah, this was the Millennium Falcon ride. They weren't going to have any other attractions, but it didn't matter because we were able to fly the Millennium Falcon on this day. That's all we needed to know.
Oh, yeah, and just be in there. I know many people built Savi's workshop lightsabers and droids and went to Oga's Cantina was a big deal. Like, it was so much fun.
All right, with that, let's get some Boonta Eve and celebration updates from Spencer Jowitz and Frank Rich. Now, here's a little behind-the-scenes note. We were planning on releasing an episode this week with a very special guest actor named Alan Fling. He was in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, but there were so many Boonta Eve and celebration updates that we decided to split up the episodes. So Boonta Eve will be this week, and early next week on Monday, we'll release the Alan Fling episode.
Yeah.
And wow, that's going to be a huge episode. And then we're going to have another episode later on that week with another special surprise guest from the original trilogy.
So exciting.
Yeah, this is looking like 2022 when we had to release 2 episodes a week just to keep up. So much content coming out. All right, with that, let's welcome Spencer Jowitz and Frank Rich.
The next Boonta Eve Bash is coming up in just a matter of weeks. Here to give us updates on this pre-celebration event is Spencer Jowitz and Frank Rich.
Hey, Spencer and Frank!
Hey.
Hey, guys.
We are so excited about this big Boonta Eve Bash, even though we're not going to be there. We're excited for you and excited for all the Skywalkers and excited for everyone who's going to be able to attend. And we can't wait to see the video, the live stream, everything. But Spencer, in a nutshell, tell us about the big Boonta Eve Bash.
So it seems to have taken a life of its own, and Frank can attest to that when he talks in a little bit about our guests and everything. But we're going to be at the Breakfast Club at Canary Wharf, a stone's throw from where they filmed scenes from Rogue One, which is pretty awesome that you have to go through a Star Wars set just to get to our event. We are going to be opening doors for the people who have tickets, the sold-out tickets, at 3:00. Starting with some podcasts with our good friends Blob of the Hutt from Ireland and Fantha Tracks in one room. And then in the other room, while we're starting our meet and greets, we have Blues Harvest Unplugged. So they're going to be giving us 2 sets, which is pretty awesome about that. And gearing up, last night we had our preliminary round for Alderaan Idol, so we know who the top 10 are going to be. We know who our judges are going to be, and we announced last night, but we're doing a big release today. But by the time this is released, it'll be announced that our host for Alderaan Idol is your good friend Details.
Woohoo!
Details.
This show should come with a disclaimer. Please bring your own seatbelt.
We're very excited about that. We have more guests than we know what to do with, and Frank can attest to that. However, it's going to be so much fun. So many great things happening. live recordings and live commentary throughout the day on Jedi News with James Burns. James will be doing interviews with the guests and live broadcasts from all of his social media accounts. So very, very excited about it. It's nerve-wracking. The other night, Frank was over at my house for a couple hours. We were putting together swag bags, and we're just like, wow, we can't believe that we're coming into, we're a month away from Anaheim. Anaheim from London. I just feel like I was just
don't tease us. Oy. So even though the Alderaan Idol pre-show was last night, can people still vote now?
Unfortunately, people cannot still vote because we did that live after show afterwards last night. So the top 10 will be notified, if not by now, that they are moving on to the top 10. But I can say that AJ and Sully, who placed in Anaheim and have buys into round 2, has some stiff competition coming out of Anaheim into London. So very, very excited about that. We got some great singers, great everything. I mean, I just can't speak to the life of its own that Boonta has taken. It's Frank and I were talking en masse about it, is that it's bigger. Every time I talk to somebody, and every time Frank talks to somebody, it's that much bigger than we even anticipated it was going to be.
Well, if it's any bigger than Anaheim, people are in for the time of their life. Just forget celebration. Just go to Boonta Eve.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing is that if you think about this, you got Boonta Eve as the kickoff to Celebration. You got Celebration proper. And I got to give it up to our good friend Martin Keeler over at #Cantina, because their lineup is stellar.
Yeah.
And they're growing as well. So you got a full weekend with multiple events and guests.
All right, well, let's talk about the guests for Boonta now. Frank, you've been in charge of lining up so many great Star Wars guests for Boonta Eve. So how many do you have at this point? And can you give us a rundown? And since Return of the Jedi is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year, who will be there to represent?
So yeah, we had to have Return of the Jedi guests. So it had to 40th anniversary. So that was definitely one of my priorities, booking guests. So we've already announced 3. We had announced 3 for our first announcement. That was John Coppinger, who was the sculptor for Jabba the Hutt in Return of the Jedi. He also controlled the eyes with the remote control. We had Alan Fling, who was an Imperial commander, fantastic guy, as you guys know.
Ask him fun questions.
Alan Flint, yeah. And Tina Simmons, who was just an absolute sweetheart. She was a rebel technician in Jedi, and it's just this wonderful mix of people who were in the films, but people that I know, just fantastic people, and they're going to have a great time. And I know that our patrons are going to have a great time meeting them, getting their autographs and photos with them. So those were our first 3 from Jedi, and then this week we announced even more. So another Jedi sign will be Ken Coombs,
and he was an Imperial officer.
He was, in Jedi. When the Emperor lands on the Death Star, he's in that show. Then we have Barbara Franklin, who was in A New Hope, and she was a Sauron, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but she's from the Cantina. And one of this person is just I gotta say this every time. I apologize. Every time I mention it, I guess I'm gonna say how amazing they are. But Fraser Diamond, one of Peter Diamond's sons, who was we know a lot of little people were the Jawas, but he was just a little boy, and he was a Jawa in A New Hope. So those are 3 guests that we announced this week, and I'm telling you, there's some amazing autographs to be had, but just stories, and people can just have a really good time. And these are some wonderful people that we've lined up to sign for them. It was great to, when we were talking, it's like, are we going to do this? We're going to do this in London. And there's all these things that we're trying to put on this show in another country. And the only thing I had no worry about was signing guests, because in 12 years of Star Wars Autograph News, like you think about it, a lot of the signers are in the UK, And it wasn't just in the UK, but how many people are just so close to the event itself. So the biggest problem with booking guests was keeping it under a certain number so they could actually fit in the venue and have a seat. And that was the biggest problem, was not getting too many, which ended up being a challenge.
The best places to have an event like this is either London or Los Angeles / Anaheim.
Yeah, you get a lot of people who are already in the area.
Yeah, Fraser Diamond's going to be on an upcoming episode of SKYwalking Through Neverland, and I can't wait to talk to him because his father, Peter Diamond, was the stunt coordinator for the Star Wars trilogy.
And Indiana Jones.
And he's like every character. Yeah. Peter Diamond was a Tusken Raider, a Stormtrooper, a Nazi, and you figure out which film goes with what.
And just have to throw out Princess Bride.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah, and Princess. Well, I don't usually talk on Star Wars on a show like this, but Princess Bride, I have to, for Peter, you have to mention that.
Oh yeah. I've read the making of book by Cary Elwes, and it's so fascinating what he says about all those scenes that Peter Diamond helped choreograph, and it was great.
He was a legend, and you're gonna have a wonderful time at Fraser. He just a great man.
All right, Frank, that's 6 guests. How many guests do you have lined up, and can you announce any more today?
One more we haven't announced yet, and that is Pam Rose. Pam Rose just she is just a lot of fun. Pam Rose was in the Cantina. Let's see if I can pronounce her name correctly. Lisa Siln, S-I-L-N. I can never pronounce it right. I apologize, Pam. But cone head. She's in the Cantina.
A big bubble head with a mohawk, with the best 70s silver outfit I've ever seen in Star Wars.
Is she headed or is she unheaded?
She has a prosthetic giant mastermind type head.
It looks like Coneheads from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, and one of the best outfits. And I've seen a couple of cosplayers around celebrations in the past as her, and it's like, that is a deep, fun cut. Very, very, very skimpy, as I might say.
She is just a personality. I mean, it's funny, did she have the biggest role? All these people, no, they didn't have the biggest role, but they they helped make Star Wars, and they have unique perspectives and wonderful stories too. And it's important to remember, I have to remind myself, can I remember one day at work 25 years ago? Because if somebody came up and asked me, remember that day you were on set? Would I remember 25 years ago? But there's still a lot of stories to be had, and she is just wonderful. You will laugh at Pam Rose's table. I'll tell you that.
So that's seven signing guests. How many do you have altogether?
Altogether?
Yes.
More than 7.
Oh, and what is the price range people should expect? Do we know this yet?
We're still working on it. We always, with Boonta Eve, we want to keep it, it's a family show. We want people to be able to get a couple autographs. So we are keeping that in mind. But we haven't worked out the final price, but it will be very reasonable.
Okay.
The prices. I don't want to put out an exact number yet. Because I still want to work it out with the signers, and it'll be very reasonable. Spencer mentioned D. Tales as our host, and he's also going to be signing autographs before the show. And so D, we had him on the Star Wars Autograph News podcast a couple of years back, and he was just so, you guys know him, he is just such a wonderful person, so dynamic. And when we're talking about potential guests, like, we could ask D. So once I had the go-ahead that it was okay to, because we waited until Celebration had finished their contracts, and that was something I talked to Ben Stevens about. Like, we don't want any issues with contracts, so we waited. So once I had the go-ahead from Ben, and I talked to D, I talked to him. I said, I have this thing lined up. We'd love to have you come. He was having a really bad day, and if you saw, he was having some challenges with his Instagram account.
Yeah. Someone hacked it,
which was just awful. And just to talk to him that day and to hear him say, this is something great to look forward to after some tough times dealing with that nonsense, which I wish nobody had to go through that type of thing where somebody takes your account. But it really, he was just so excited and engaged, and he's going to make for a great host. And we, like Spencer said, we have our judges are all announced as well. So, which we've already mentioned. So Tina Simmons will be a judge, and Pam Rose, and Fraser Diamond. So it's funny. When I would tell them, the short kind of what is this event? Well, you got to sign autographs, and then it's going to be a karaoke contest. and there's no obligation for the signers to, they don't have to sing or be judges or anything if they don't want to. And it was so funny. Some of them were like, "I'll be a judge, but I'm not singing," and some of them like, "Get me to a microphone. I can't wait to sing." So it was either or. There was no in between. It was funny.
Now, will there be any crossover signers from Celebration to Boonta Eve, or do you have your signers and Celebration has their signers?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. That's it. It would be a conflict if one. It works out well because if you're going to Celebration and you come to our event and we have our number of signers that we're going to have, and then you get totally different signers at Celebration, and then more at the #Cantina event. You're gonna come in not just with the 40 signers that are going to be at Celebration, but these 2 other events that bookend it. That you're going to have a lot of opportunities to get autographs. But it really the primary reason is respect for the contracts. The signers that they're at Celebration, they have signed a contract to be there, and it just we wouldn't want to do anything to jeopardize that contract to put them at risk of breaching a contract. So no, there won't be any signers at our event that are signing at Celebration.
Well, that's a unique twist because now people will want to come to Boonta Eve to get the people that they can't get at Celebration.
Right.
And judging by your non-committal answers earlier, you get a ton of guests coming to Boonta Eve.
But the thing that I'm having, if you're a Muppets fan, I've been giving a maniacal laugh quite often lately, as soon as Frank gave you the list, is the fact that we sold out before announcing a single guest. Wow. And now people are like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And I'm just sitting there going, "Well, we told you."
And like you said last time, there is a waiting list, right?
There is a waiting list to get in for the full day tickets. We're going to be offering a hyperspace ticket, but that will get you in time for Idol and for the rest of the evening. But it's, like Frank said, it's a unique opportunity to get so many signers over now a 5-day period between Boonta, Celebration, and #Cantina that are all unique. It's exciting. It's an exciting time to be a fan of Star Wars. It's an exciting time to be, going to Celebration or any event around Celebration because you never know what's going to happen.
And there is a standby line, right?
So there is a standby line as far as currently on our page, on our event page for Boonta Eve, that if anybody's going to be selling tickets, they can reach out to somebody on the waiting list to sell their ticket. But we also are offering a hyperspace ticket, which is basically a first come, first serve, starting at 7:30 p.m., just after the signings end, right before Idol begins, to come in and enjoy the festivities for the last 3 hours, have a couple of drinks, have some food, sing a song, listen to Idol, and just have a chance to party. Because some people who want to come to Boonta were like, "Well, I don't get in until that morning, and I'm not going to go rush to an event, but I would like something to do at night, the night before Celebration." And they announced 2 days ago, the panel, so people are already starting to get excited about that. But they're like, "I'm in London. I want something to do." So, we're going to give them the opportunity if we're able to get as many people as we can into the building later at night.
Nice.
That's the nicest thing about this. I didn't come in. My first event was in Chicago, and when we had Kevin Thompson sign for us, was my first time. I had just become involved with the group, and to see that it's become a tradition for Celebration attendees. And that's probably the biggest thing for me to see. It really is. People are kicking their Celebration off, or at least it's part of their Celebration plans, and that's special. That's really for me, having gone to so many, and to be part of people's Celebration plans is just unbelievable.
Yeah, another unique twist is it's the kickoff to Celebration, so it's not during Celebration where, after a day of celebrating, you just kind of want to crash and not have to deal with noise or anything else. But this is like last time was a fun kickoff to the big event. Now you guys were mentioning some of the panels that were announced for Celebration. Do you want to go over a few of those and tell us what you're excited about?
So I'm obviously excited about the Lucasfilm showcase. If it's anything like they had in Anaheim, which I saw second, that looks absolutely incredible because that's going to have Andor. There's going to be a sit down with Diego Luna and Tony Gilroy talking about Andor season 1, which is pretty cool. Ahsoka has its own panel, which is fantastic, with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau hosting that one, as well as a 40th retrospective of Return of the Jedi hosted by Ming-Na Wen. And they say special guests, so we'll see what goes on there.
So Fennec Shand will be hosting the Return of the Jedi panel.
Correct. And then there's a Bad Batch panel with Michelle Ang and Dee Bradley Baker.
Nice.
As well as it's a 15th anniversary retrospective of the Clone Wars, which will have basically everybody that is there and surprise guests as well. So there's going to be a lot of great stuff. There's panels with Doug Chang, ILM members, High Republic, a little bit of everything for everybody, which is absolutely going to be fantastic. And then there's a podcasting stage, which we know a lot of people who are involved in that. I believe our good friend Mike Celestino is involved in that as well. So it'd be good to see Mike, and Mike will be involved in Idol.
Wow. And now it's not just podcasts, it's Holo News, the Holo stage, where if you're a YouTuber or if you're on Instagram, you can still participate.
Yeah.
Which I'm so glad they're opening up to all of the social media platforms.
Absolutely. And it's a unique time, and I'm so glad that there's so many people that are doing content creation and able to do something to be part of Celebration, because that's what Celebration is all about, is enjoying your creativity and enjoying your love for the saga and contributing to it in any sort of capacity they can possibly can. And the fact that Repop and Lucasfilm have made it available for the fans to actually be part of Celebration, not just as an attendee, that's something special in itself.
Right.
Yeah.
And on Sunday, Disney Parks is going to have a couple of panels, Making of Galaxy's Edge, where Star Wars comes to life. And I hope they're going to announce some things, because we've been hearing in the underground that there's some more things coming to our Galaxy's Edge. So I'm looking for some announcements.
Yeah.
I would like that they gave everybody who goes to that panel a free weekend on the Halcyon, because that would be fantastic.
Oh, you were serious.
Okay, I'm really curious about this Star Wars animation game night, which is a competition where Ashley Eckstein, Dee Bradley Baker, James Arnold Taylor, Matthew Wood, and Matt Lanter compete in feats of knowledge, skill, and luck to prove who is the ultimate Star Wars fan. If you follow them on Instagram, they're always posting reels of each other because they're like always together signing. And so this is going to be crazy.
So maybe it's a good thing, though, Sam Witwer was not invited to Celebration, because Sam would destroy them all. Sam is a junkie when it comes to Star Wars trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also on Sunday, there's a Visions Season 2 panel.
Ooh.
Oh, come on. All right, Sarah, we're going to do London next month.
Frank, are any of these piquing your interest, these panels?
I love the big ones, but that's a given, right? You want to be in, doesn't matter which stage it is, but you want to be in for that opening, the Lucasfilm showcase. But for me, my favorite are the behind the scenes, when you get the ILM staff in and you start to hear their stories. And I appreciate them more, because as an autograph collector, I became interested, because I started to collect their autographs and what do they do, and to tie that into why I enjoyed the movie so much, because of the work that they do. You can just be immersed in Star Wars, but it's because of them. It's not really, the acting, sure, and the cost, but everything they do, that when you sit down, you're watching Star Wars, you feel like you are in an X-Wing, or you feel like you're in that world. It's because of these people behind the scenes. So I have a whole new appreciation for them, and it is because of autograph collecting. So in those panels, sometimes, it's not a guarantee, but sometimes they sign a few autographs after those panels. No promises. But, we always say be prepared. You never know. And if you can get Doug Chang, some of these guys that are just legends in their field, in their craft, makes some nice autographs.
Frank, what about the Obi-Wan panel?
Yeah, there's a few Obi-Wan panels.
With the big one with Ewan, Hayden, Indira, and Vivian with Deborah Chow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
oh my
huge.
goodness. Now,
that's going to be amazing.
Back to what you had said, Spencer, about the Galactic Star Cruiser. Why are there no Galactic Star Cruiser panels on this? I hope this is not the complete list, because they've got to start working up to this. I know there's the Disney parks where Star Wars comes to life. And there's a little bit on the Galactic Star Cruiser, but
that's where they'll mention.
In my opinion, my opinion, they need to do a big presentation of the Galactic Star Cruiser just to pique people's
like an
interest
immersive
once again.
Experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a year now. And I don't feel like we're still talking about the Galactic Star Cruiser the way we should be talking about it.
You want a performance by Gaia?
Yes.
Hello.
And some food. Yeah. That would be amazing. Richard's face.
Yeah.
People at home, if you see Richard's face right now.
At that, when Disney, where Star Wars comes to life, if they do not have a Gaia presentation, I don't know what to think about this anymore. You know what? Think positively. Think positively. The way I'm thinking positively about the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi panel. In the past, their anniversary panels have not been the greatest. It's been stories we've heard a million times before, and nothing new has come out of those.
Orlando, nothing special. That wasn't a special panel.
Which one? The John Williams?
They had the big Star Wars one, which was like a huge opening day panel, 40th anniversary. But I'm thinking back to the Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace. There was a good overview, but okay, yes, the Star Wars 40th anniversary, you can't beat that. But okay, all right, you went there, but then the next couple of anniversary panels,
ones.
you didn't live up to that.
My favorite story is that I did not go to any panels in Chicago, but I made sure I was going to the Phantom Menace panel because I was like, wow, my first experience in any celebration was the 40th anniversary panel in Orlando. Phantom Menace is going to be fantastic. And I walked out like, well, I could have gotten 3 more autographs.
Well, okay, you just crystallized my thoughts. The best part about that Phantom Menace panel was the enthusiasm people have for the Phantom Menace and for Ahmed Best.
Yeah.
That right there was worth the price of admission, I admit.
Absolutely.
All right, so if anyone wants more information on Boonta Eve, where do they go? Tell us once again.
So first and foremost, you're going to go to the world's largest Star Wars Celebration fan group, the Virtual Cantina, sitting at 47,000 members worldwide right now. Sorry, galaxy-wide. And look for information for Boonta Eve 4.
And that's on Facebook.
Right on Facebook. We're also available on Twitter at virtual.cantina. We're also on Instagram at virtual.cantina, Twitter at Cantina Virtual. We just joined TikTok. We're on Hive with the rest of Star Wars. So we're all over social media. We're all over the internet. You can also check us out on the Virtual Cantina Network, which is www.youtube.com/The Virtual Cantina Network. And we hope to see you at Boonta. We hope to see you at the Not So Virtual Cantina on Wednesday night at the Aloft next to the Excel Center for a nice drink and a time to meet the mods and admins that are going to be coming over to London. But we love to see you at Celebration because honestly, we're all fans. We're all going there to find out the same information and share the same love that we all have for the saga. But we all know that even if you can't make it to London, we will all be together again in 2025.
Hear, hear. Now, give us your best Boonta Eve outro.
Boonta Eve, the celebration tradition continues. We have guests. We have Blue Harvest. We have Level Up Leroy. We have podcasts. We have surprises galore. And we will be at the Breakfast Club, which is a stone's throw away from the Canary Wharf Tea Stop, which is where they filmed Rogue One. And don't forget, hashtag, don't you forget about me.
Now, Frank, give us your best wizard and yippee.
That's Wicked Wizard.
If anyone from Boston was traveling to Tatooine, that's the way they would say it. Wicked Wizard.
That's how Bill Burr would have said it in The Mandalorian.
Hi, I'm Emily Swallow. I play the armorer on The Mandalorian, and I am skywalking through Neverland. This is the way.
So we are going to run down the Star Wars Celebration Europe 2023 panel schedule for the Celebration, Galaxy, and Twin Suns stages.
All right, we went through a couple of them with Spencer and Frank, but there are so many more. So on Friday, April 7th.
Yep, we have the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase. And this is a full hour and a half on the Celebration stage. It's going to be live streamed to the Galaxy and Twin Suns stages. And this is where, you know, you get that main big panel. Lucasfilm's current crop of live action filmmakers will be joined by special guests to discuss the many current and upcoming Star Wars adventures, including The Mandalorian, Andor, and more.
And when they say and more,
yes,
you know what that means.
Do you think we're going to get announcements of films?
You know what? Now that you say that, this is where they would announce them, because I don't see any other panel that says announcements.
Right.
But this is the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase, so we're going to get another Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny trailer.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right. I think this is where they're going to announce maybe the premiere date for Ahsoka.
Yeah.
The premiere date for Skeleton Crew.
Okay.
And tell us what else is coming up.
There was some news today that like some of the films were
okay.
Yeah.
Is everyone sitting down?
Okay.
Okay. Here's some shocker of a news story.
Yeah.
The Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins films
are shelved. Really? You think?
Once again, shocker.
I get a big eye roll from that is what I get.
Yeah, me too. All right, moving right along.
All right, so next on Friday we have London Calling, designing Star Wars productions in the UK. Oh, so Amy Ratcliffe will sit with the set decorator, production designer, concept designer, and storyboard artist and costume designer for behind-the-scenes looks at their design work on Solo and Rogue One.
Oh,
and other
man.
Lucasfilm UK productions.
Right.
Wow.
All right, later on that day, the making of Andor Season 1. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
This is going to be awesome because Tony Gilroy and Diego Luna are going to be there leading their team of creatives. So talking about, you know, how they make this. Obviously.
And maybe they'll give us an update on Season 2.
Ooh.
Or would they do that during the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase? But the making of Andor Season 1, I could see that's a good place to announce some things or show some footage. They've already shot, if not wrapped up, Season 2. They did wrap up Season 2, so they could show us some stuff.
They could?
Okay, that was on Friday.
Yeah.
On Saturday, April the 8th.
There's the big Ahsoka panel. This is on the Celebration stage, once again streaming to the Galaxy and Twin Suns stages. And this is where we're going to learn more about the upcoming Disney Plus series, Ahsoka. And Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, executive producers, will be there, plus special guests. So I'm thinking Thrawn.
You think Thrawn's going to be there?
Whoever is probably going to be Thrawn.
Is this where they're going to finally announce that Mads Mikkelsen will play Thrawn?
That's what I think.
Okay.
And this also might be the week that maybe Thrawn will appear on perhaps Bad Batch and what's the other? Mandalorian? Possibly?
No, not Mandalorian.
Oh, maybe.
Not this coming, well, yeah.
Maybe.
You never know. Never know.
I don't know. It's predicted. My co-host Trisha Barr is predicting it. She's like all gung-ho. And yeah, I'm excited.
All right. Chris Mason says in the Sky Chat, love Ahsoka character.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Also on Saturday, bringing worlds to life, the concept artists of ILM. So they get a lot to do there. Doug Chang is going to be on that panel, and maybe afterwards people get a chance to meet the humblest man in the world.
Oh.
Then we have Star Wars: The High Republic.
Okay, this is going to be another update on what's coming in the High Republic Phase 2 and a sneak peek of what is to come in Phase 3.
Then we have 40 years of Return of the Jedi.
You excited about this?
I want to be excited about this. Like we said when we were talking with Frank and Spencer, it'll be hosted by Ming-Na Wen.
Yay!
And I really hope they bring it. I really hope they bring it to this. They show us some footage that maybe had not been released up until this point. Show us something we hadn't seen before. I don't want just the best of stories from the set.
Okay, also, well, this is an interesting line here from this particular entry. It says, join special guest host Ming-Na Wen as she chats with Star Wars legends of the past, present, and future about the influence of this beloved chapter in a galaxy far, far away. Future. I find that interesting.
All right, next up, Star Wars Creator Cosplay Workshop.
Ooh. Okay, so here we get to join the Mandalorian's costume designer, Shauna Trippick, and the hair department head, Maria Sandoval, and they're going to give tips and tricks on your own cosplay.
Whoa!
How cool is that? Oh my gosh. So, and they're going to be guest judges for the official cosplay competition later on. So get a tune-up before the big contest.
What do you think they would say about my Walrus Man costume? All right, next up is Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures screening. And this is the new animated series that will be premiering on Disney Plus and Disney Junior on May the 4th.
Wow, so they're going to get an advance screening of the first 2 episodes at this panel, which is so cool.
Now, did they say this is a series of like little tiny adventures like the Star Wars Galactic Pals? And
if this is on Disney Junior, I think it's a full-on show. Like you have, what are the shows on Disney Junior that like the Paw Patrol?
Oh, okay. Now you're talking my language.
Those kind of shows like that. So
okay.
That appeal to the pre-K.
Okay, because up until now,
level.
all these shows geared toward the youngins have all been little bite-sized little mini adventures.
Right. So I'm thinking like Paw Patrol, PJ Masks.
Okay.
Peppa
Pig.
Yeah, and the show with the dogs that are police, Chase and Marshall.
Yeah, Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol.
Yeah.
I said Paw Patrol.
Yeah, you did. All right. After that, we have Hasbro, Star Wars, and Indiana Jones panel. So we get a chance to see all the new toys coming up.
Ooh. Yep. Including Black Series, Adventure Series, Retro Collection.
Role-playing offerings.
Whoa.
Then, okay. Creature Cantina with Neil Scanlon. And he was responsible for all the creations of all the droids and creatures of the Star Wars sequel era.
Now, is this where they name a character, usually?
That one is usually hosted by our friend Tom Spina. So, it doesn't say anything here about Tom being on this, but you know what? I'll reach out and ask him.
Okay.
Because I want that honor. I want and need that honor.
Yeah. That is cool.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this one I'm really excited for. Clone Wars 15-year anniversary panel. So this is where we're going to be able to join Dave Filoni, Athena Portillo, Matt Wood, D. Bradley Baker, Ashley Eckstein, Matt Lanter, and James Arnold Taylor to talk about the Clone Wars for a look back. And that's always fun because these people are a big family.
Looking back at the 10-year anniversary panel, that's where Filoni announced Season 7.
Oh.
But then again, that was called the final season, so the Clone Wars are not the Rolling Stones or Kiss, where every year they come out with a final tour.
Right.
Now, Kiss just announced their final tour. Okay. Yeah, you give them another envelope full of cash, they'll be back on the road in 2024.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they perhaps got together to make a little short or something that they'd show here or debut here. Like maybe a 3-minute little thing.
Yeah, for these anniversary panels, I want more than just a best of behind-the-scenes stories.
Right.
I want a little more than that.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to Sunday, April the 9th. Villains of the sequel trilogy. Yes, let's give the sequel trilogy some love.
Yeah.
And this panel is going to feature Ian McDiarmid, Andy Serkis, Gwendolyn Christie, but there's no Adam Driver.
Ooh.
We need Adam Driver for this. Hopefully he'll send in a message,
a video. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, but he's busy hawking his new film 65.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That looks fun.
It does, but
curious to check that out.
If you're going to have a panel called Villains of the Sequel Trilogy, you just really need Adam Driver.
I agree.
All right. Now, next we have Behind the Magic, the visual effects of Andor.
This one looks really fun.
Yeah, seeing how they didn't shoot on the volume, I'm really interested to see what aspect was green screen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Amy Ratcliffe is going to interview members of the creature effects and special effects teams.
Okay, my first question.
Who was this creature effects?
Where were the creatures?
Yeah. Oh, you're funny.
All right, next we have Hyperspace Stories. Dark Horse Comics returns. What? Dark Horse Comics returns to a galaxy far, far away with a wide range of stories for fans of all ages. Join editor Matt Dreyer and a group of all-star authors as they dive into Hyperspace Stories, The High Republic Adventures, and more.
All right, then we have a look back at Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen are going to be there, along with Indira Varma and Vivian Lyra Blair. And, of course, the executive producer and director, Deborah Cho. Holy cow.
Do you know who they're missing? Young Luke. I want to see young Luke and young Leia up on stage.
Now, Obi-Wan Kenobi was just limited series, right? There's not going to be a second season.
There's really no way you could do a second season.
Right.
Because it would just be a repeat of the first season.
Okay.
All right. After that, Funko Collect Across the Galaxy.
Cool. This is a Funko collecting panel. Yeah. What else you need to know?
All right. Yeah, exactly.
If you love Funko,
you'll love this panel.
Yep.
Next up, we have Star Wars cosplay competition. Oh, I want to show off my Walrus Man costume at that one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what are you going to do? All right. Next, we have Disney Parks, where Star Wars comes to life. So by that title, they're going to really focus on the immersive nature of the Star Wars theme park editions like Galaxy's Edge and Galactic Star Cruiser. Yep. And like we were saying with Frank and Spencer, they better have some kind of a Gaia presentation. And afterwards give everyone like a little box of
the treats. That would be amazing.
The Gourmanda bites.
If they were in Orlando, they would totally do that.
Very true.
I don't know if they'd be able to do it here, but
okay. All right, then we have Beyond the Spires, making of Tales from the Galaxy's Edge.
And we're going to hear from the key creators of these game makers and get behind the scenes look at how the VR adventure came together.
When they had a little sample over at Downtown Disney of Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, I really fell in love with the whole VR operation.
I did, except I got woozy.
Oh,
I get
okay.
woozy
If we get
in
it,
these VR
then
games.
I'll just use it.
Okay.
But I really loved it. But that Oculus is like $500.
Oh, it's
Yeah. So I'll just wait until maybe they go on sale.
They haven't gone on sale though.
All right. Next is Star Wars Animation Game Night, which we went over. Oh my goodness!
That looks like so much fun.
Then we have Lucasfilm Publishing, Stories from a Galaxy Far, Far Away.
And this is not just the High Republic this time. This is gonna cover adult novels to kids comics to audiobook epics.
Mm-hmm. Then the next day on Monday. Why on Monday? Why not Friday?
Didn't
or
Star Wars
Thursday?
Celebration Chicago have a Monday?
It was on Monday. Yes.
Yeah, that was weird.
Monday, April 10th. Star Wars The Bad Batch.
Woohoo!
Join host Amy Ratcliffe as she invites Star Wars The Bad Batch executive producer and supervising director Brad Rao, executive producer and head writer Jennifer Corbett, executive producer Athena Portillo, and actors D. Bradley Baker and Michelle Ang to discuss highlights from the second season of the acclaimed series. Now, by this time, will the Bad Batch just be wrapping up?
Almost. I think it'll be on its final 2 episodes.
You're right. This is the week that they're going to do the final 2 episodes, so I think y'all going to get a little preview.
I think so, too.
All right, this next one, Make Mine Marvel Star Wars. Now, just by looking at that, Make Mine Marvel was a 1970s and 80s phrase for Marvel.
Right.
So I'm thinking, is this going to be about the classic Marvel Star Wars comics? Doesn't look like it.
No.
No. by the description. Make mine Star Wars and make mine Marvel. Join Marvel Editor-in-Chief C.B. Cebulski and some of Marvel's top talent for a comic conversation unlike any other. That's very generic.
But it includes all new announcements and reveals from a galaxy far, far away.
All right, that is so misleading, that title.
It is.
All right, next, from screen to tabletop.
Oh, this must be tabletop games. So yes, the team at Atomic Mass Games will show you some behind the scenes of how they create their games. Very cool.
All right.
Also, this sounds really cool. Star Wars Visions Volume 2. Amy Ratcliffe will be talking to the filmmakers and executive producers from a bunch of different studios who are now working on Visions Volume 2.
And you know they're going to get a couple of sneak previews.
Yeah.
And this is also going to premiere on Disney Plus on May the 4th.
Oh, Star Wars Visions?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
May the 4th is going to be a huge day.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, Star Wars Galaxy-Sized Collecting and a Micro World with Jazzwares. What is Jazzwares?
I don't know. A Micro Galaxy Squadron. I think it's another tabletop game, I want to say. We're not gamers, you guys. So let us know if you know what this is. Okay, but this next panel I'm excited for. Doug Chang designing Obi-Wan Kenobi and The Mandalorian. So he will present an in-depth talk about designing all these characters, spaceships, and the worlds for both of these series.
And get this, attendees will also have a chance to ask Doug their own questions.
Sweet!
Yeah,
you know what? I asked Doug a question at the premiere of The Mandalorian
last
3,
week.
and someone totally interrupted his answer to get a selfie.
Did that... Really?
Yes.
How did I not know this until now?
Oh, no, you knew this. No, we were talking to him, remember? And I asked him a question. I forget what about. And he was in the middle of answering it when someone banged in as we were talking and was like, hey, can I get a selfie? And totally just interrupted him.
You know what? I don't remember that happening.
You don't?
No, I must have just had a white flash of anger.
Yeah.
Because this happens so many times.
Oh,
remember
yeah.
when we were at the Force Awakens after party and we're talking to J.J. Abrams and these two girls slipped right in and started talking to him?
Yeah.
And once we were talking to Steven Sanspeet and someone pulled his arm to talk to him.
Yeah.
Are we invisible?
I don't know.
Are we Force ghosts? Can people not see us?
I don't know. It was really annoying.
Why does that? I wouldn't have the nerve to
Yeah.
do something like that.
I know. Yeah, I think I asked him what his favorite moment was or something from the series because it was right after we had seen the 2 episodes.
All right, next time we go to one of these things, we got to bring someone
a lightsaber
to kind of stand guard. So if anyone does that, the guard will pull them away from them trying to pull the whoever we're talking to away.
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to go there right now.
Well, we just have one more panel to go over, and that is the Celebration Europe closing ceremony.
Well, they're going to announce the next celebration happening in 2025 at a location soon to be announced.
Yes. That's usually where they announce the location.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Not
That's
always.
true.
All right. So not only were the panels announced, but so was the art show.
The art show, you guys. Okay, so if you're watching on YouTube, you get to see some of this beautiful artwork that is showcased. And a lot of it features Ahsoka and some of the new series.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, it's really cool. So first up, we have this Al Abazia. He made Protectors, which is this beautiful piece of art that showcases a little boy holding a puppy, looking at a picture of the Mandalorian holding Grogu.
And the Darksaber, and the little boy's holding a cardboard sword.
Yeah, and so they're called Protectors.
I can relate with this photo, with this painting.
Oh, yeah?
When I was a little kid,
puppy?
looking into a reflection of myself,
Oh.
I could see myself as whoever I was dressed up as.
Oh, that's fabulous.
All right, next up. Oh, look at this. Yeah, I haven't seen any of these yet.
Oh, okay. So next up, we have The Dark Times by Jonathan Beistlein. And it is featuring all of
the Darksiders from Kenobi. We have Vader, we have Palpatine, and all the Inquisitors with some probe droids and some ships. Okay, very nice.
That looks cool. Okay, next up, My Only Hope by Trisha Benson. And this features Leia. It's like two images. We have Leia putting the
Death Star plans in R2 as seen in Star Wars.
Right. And then right next to that is little Leia
with Kenobi.
Yeah.
That we'd seen in the show Kenobi when he's talking to her outside of that Tokyo-esque type of location.
Right.
So it's like a mirror image.
Yeah. Oh, that is cool. Yeah, the Death Star. Yeah, that's neat. All right, next up. Ooh.
Oh, look at this one.
Ezra and the Loth Wolves and a Loth Cat. We Are All Connected by Jody Ray Charity. So we have Ezra Bridger.
And the White Wolves.
The Loth Wolves, yes. Oh,
and Kanan. And the Purgles.
The Purgles. The Purgles, Loth Cats,
and
Kanan.
Ezra and the White Wolves.
Oh, okay.
All right, next up. Oh, A World Between Worlds, continuing on with the Star Wars Rebels theme.
Yes, by Chrissy Chung. Wow, this is a beautiful piece of Ahsoka basically bursting out of the triangle, one of the portals of A World Between Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is gorgeous.
I wonder if she's trying to tell us something. Like in the live-action series, will Ahsoka go into the World Between Worlds?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
That's so cool. Oh, okay. Next we have, this is called We Have a Visitor by Jason W. Christman.
Who will be on the show in a couple of weeks to tell us all about this amazing piece of artwork.
Yes, so this is featuring the probe droid from The Empire Strikes Back in this beautiful scene of Hoth that's bathed in blue and the sunlight.
And right behind him is a snow speeder zooming across the plains. I always love Jason's use of colors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're just so soothing.
And the sunlight here just really bursts. It's like the sun is creating a starburst around the camera that's looking at it, even though there is no camera, technically.
And in the distance, we see another probe droid landing.
Indeed.
Or that could be a meteorite.
Indeed.
Oh, love it.
Okay, next, Guardians of the New Republic by Jason Davies features Ahsoka very prominently, along with the Mando and Grogu and Luke and his X-Wing. Nice.
Wow. Yeah. I love how the X-Wing and the Razor Crest are framing the artwork.
Yeah, that's very cool.
All right.
Ooh, another. Okay. Unbreakable Bond by Chris D. features Ahsoka and Captain Rex, and they are surrounded by shattered glass, which is showcasing different scenes from their time together.
Right. From Rebels and the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, that would look awesome framed.
That's gorgeous.
That is very gorgeous. All right. Next up, Fate of the Galaxy by Haidam Gazmi.
Yeah.
And
ooh.
This is like Robot Chicken.
Action figures. I think, is this a piece of...
They're Hasbro.
A picture. Yeah.
It says, Fate of the Galaxy recreates a scene from Return of the Jedi with Hasbro, Star Wars, The Black Series action figures, and dioramas. You know what? Is this the first one to feature Return of the Jedi?
I think so. Well, yeah, no kidding. Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was more like the Robot Chicken figures.
Ooh, next we have an Andor piece. Every Day We Wait, They Get Stronger by Sam Gilby. Oh. And it's like an Andor poster. That's what I would say.
And on the bottom, we have Kino Loy, who's on program.
Yep, on program.
Oh, there's B2.
Yeah, B2 features Cassian.
And there's Marva. And every character from Luthen to Saw Gerrera, B2.
Marva, yeah. Even Manifesto Boy. I forget his name.
There's Linus. There's Cyril Karn.
Nice.
That's a nice piece of work.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh, what is this? Tales of the Jedi by Joe Hogan.
Wow.
Oh, so these are
6
different
panels.
Horizontal panels showcasing a scene from
each of the 6 Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi series that came out last October.
Wow. That is so cool. And it looks like they're in timeline order. So you have Ahsoka being born, You have
Dooku and Qui-Gon on their mission.
Yep.
Qui-Gon. There's Dooku and Mace Windu.
Right.
And there's in the center is the moment where Dooku turns to the dark side because what's happening over to the right.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, he's about to make
Squash.
waste of Yaddle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then Ahsoka training.
And at the very end, we have Ahsoka versus the Inquisitor.
Oh,
that's a nice piece of work there,
that
too.
is.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, what is this?
This is beautiful.
Twilight on Endor by Sandra Kamenz.
And this features the Ewok village at twilight. Beautiful.
All right. And
it's just a nice piece. Like, if you didn't know this was Star Wars, you could almost just put that on your wall as just a piece of art. Yeah.
I'm glad someone else is focusing on Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it's a landscape piece. It's beautiful.
It looks like this little Ewok on the right is guarding the whole village at night.
Yeah.
And it's raining stars.
Oh, that's special light. If you read the book that features Han and Leia's wedding, then
Princess and the Scoundrel?
Yes. They talk about this little light. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's made from the home tree or something like that.
Oh,
very Avatar.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. We'll handle this is the next piece of art
by Brandon Kenny. And this features that moment from The Phantom Menace where Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon take on Darth Maul.
Yeah, just when Darth Maul ignites his double-bladed lightsaber. Now we're looking. It's from behind Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon looking at Darth Maul. It's like the greatest moment
in that film.
In like the Star Wars saga.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, that's a great painting.
Yeah.
All right. And if you're a fan of Grogu, we have Art Gugro by Shyla Lee. And here's just a painting with 5 little portraits of Grogu. One, he's holding a cup of soup, and to the right, oh my goodness, he's eating the spider eggs, and right behind him is the big Krykna white spider.
Gugro, so it's like the goo.
Yeah.
Grogu and the goo.
All right, in the middle we have Grogu, and he's lifting up the one-eyed frogs.
Yep.
And over to his to the left are some blue macaroons.
Mm-hmm.
And then down below we have him eating
Spatchka?
The frog lady's eggs.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Okay. And then over there is the Spatchka.
Oh, okay. Got it.
All right. Oh.
Ooh. This next one is called Gioconda Amidala by Eric Mail. And this piece apparently completes an ambitious triptych, which he began in Celebration Orlando 2012. So all of these pieces they're kind of built on Renaissance portraits. So you know how Renaissance portraits would be like a noble sitting,
right?
Very, very properly,
the back arched and hands folded and looking very gallantly.
And here Amidala is in
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Lingerie.
Yeah. Is she pregnant here? In this,
she
should be.
She is now.
You're funny, but yeah, that's beautiful. And behind her is
the skyline of Coruscant.
Yes.
Oh, that's very nice.
Very nice. And she's wearing the Jaipur snippet.
Yeah.
Nice. Beautiful. Okay. Ooh, look at this. This piece is called Hope by Ashraf Omar, and it features Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
And so within it actually says Hope. And it's the lightsaber, Luke's lightsaber exploded out.
Yeah, it's all taken apart. Because there's that deleted scene where Luke is in Obi-Wan's hut and he's putting the lightsaber back. He's making his new lightsaber.
Right.
So here's the lightsaber in 5 parts here, and with the mechanical hand reaching up to it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, with the rebel symbol in the middle. Very nice. All right. Ooh, we have The Scavenger by Frank Sansone. And this is a painting of Rey with BB-8, and she's looking out over into the Jakku wastelands.
Yeah, that's pretty too. Very stylized. Oh, then we have a piece of art that features Bo-Katan from The Ashes of Mandalore by Adam Schickling. Wow. And Bo-Katan's face is very prominent, and then you see her down below with, it looks like Mando and another of her warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. And the Darksaber.
Right. And then we go to Academy BFFs by Nick Scurfield, and this is it's an infant Ahsoka playing with Grogu, and they're both reaching for a blue macaroon.
Yes. Aw, cute.
Very cute.
Oh, okay. So this next piece is called Beyond a Jedi by Lin Z, and it features Ahsoka in her white robes that you see at the end of Star Wars Rebels and Loth Wolves. And this would be a perfect companion piece to the piece of art I already have from Lin Z, which already featured Ahsoka, but a younger Ahsoka. So, wow. And it's blue and white. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
All right, next we have Things That Were by Zoltan Simon. I love that name, Zoltan Simon. Okay, this is Ahsoka. This scene was taken from one of the Tales of the Jedi.
Yes.
And it's Ahsoka looking up at Theed Palace. And I'm guessing this is during Padme's funeral.
Yep.
Because we know now
Right
that Ahsoka was at Padme's funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's so much story in that one painting.
Yeah.
All right. Then we have Extraction Team Bravo by Malcolm Tween. And this is from Rogue One. We have the U-Wing and several of the characters. They're it's like a long shot.
You know what? This almost looks like concept art.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It looks cool.
Yeah. All right. Then we have Victory and Death.
By Yesenia Zolantsova.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's like a upside down piece. So at the
it's
top,
like a mirror reflection.
Yeah. So you have Ahsoka at the top. This is all in watercolor. Ahsoka at the top, surrounded by
the clone trooper helmets with her markings on them.
Yeah, and then at the bottom, like mirror image, is
Anakin.
Oh, yeah, Anakin.
Anakin. And with the clone troopers behind them as they're going to storm the Jedi Temple.
Yeah, and this is, I think it's meant to talk, Victory and Death from the Clone Wars, that one episode. Oh my gosh!
So victory because Ahsoka lives,
right?
And death because we know what happens when Anakin storms the Jedi Temple.
Yep.
Oh, that's kind of eerie.
It is.
All right, so there you have it.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, those are some great pieces of art.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a good thing we're not going to Celebration.
I know. I'm like, I want like 5 of those.
I want all of them.
So those of you going to Celebration, which ones are you looking forward to? What panels are you looking forward to? We want to know. Let us know.
Shout outs, Skywalker shout outs. Which Skywalkers get props from here in Neverland? Who has tweeted out? Shout out. Who has photobombed? Shout out. Who has shared a post? Shout out. Post.
Skywalkers, we want to thank the Skywalking Force. You are what keeps us going every month. We so appreciate you. So without further ado, here is our Skywalking Force. Thank you to Anthony Kakias,
Blessed Cheesemaker,
Bryn MacKinnon,
Carl Fox,
Chickafent,
Christopher Marino,
Courtney Turkel,
Darren Irvine,
Dave Kerwin,
Don Glover,
Garrett Sessions,
Glenn Stein,
Jennifer Cole,
Jeremy and Heather Hunt,
John Liang,
John Zancanaro,
Julie Caruana,
Kelly Turkel,
Laura Bryce,
Meredith Duckworth,
Michael Corbett,
Michael Knipp,
Mike Ward,
Nancy Steinman,
Patrick Pine,
Patty Hammond,
Patty Nazarian,
Peter and Norma Heitman,
Reynold Gobey,
Scott Carmichael,
Scott Hume,
Terry Lee,
Wesley Meekums,
Wynn Patterson, and Jeremy Stevenson.
Thank you so much, Skywalkers. And we want to give a big shout out to YouTube with our latest videos on the Mandalorian Press Roundtables featuring Katee Sackhoff, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, and Rick Famuyiwa. We had thousands and thousands of views and over 400 subscribers. So we want to thank you, all the new subscribers.
We apparently liked our videos.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh. So with hundreds of comments per video, let's just go through a couple here.
Okay.
So first of all, Mike Teasley commented on Katie's video. Katee comes through as such a warm, genuinely positive person. Always a bright spot in any show she's a part of. I'm particularly fond of Longmire. Love this interview and the hints she gives us about events yet to come.
Saw a whole new side of Katee Sackhoff during that interview.
Yeah.
All right, Katie Ty says, I smiled from the beginning to the end of this video with Katee. Katee has such an amazing positive presence. BG was
Battlestar Galactica.
Was the show that got me into sci-fi. Watching Katee in Star Wars live action has been such a treat. Thank you for this interview.
Awesome.
All right, then on Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni's video, we have James Will Heights.
He says, they're so money and they don't even know it.
Which is a quote from The Office.
No. It's a quote from Jon Favreau's first movie back in the 90s when he goes to L.A.
Swingers?
Yeah. It's a quote from Swingers.
Oh, because Kevin from The Office says that to...
Yeah. No, he's quoting Swingers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To Ryan. When Ryan comes back and he's all the big, the executive at Dunder Mifflin. That's what Kevin says to him.
Is that where you thought it was from?
That's where I thought it was from.
No, it's Swingers, which is so funny. So it's very meta.
Okay. All right. Dubact says, John, Dave, anything to add? Dave, no, I'm good. Except, and Dave drops incredible philosophical analogy of mastering one's self-discipline. Which means Dave kept his mouth shut.
Yes, but it's funny whenever he opens his mouth, he always spouts out profound things.
In about 30 minutes.
Yes.
All right, and we also just posted reels on YouTube of the Mandalorian screening at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood just last week. These were all the introductions from Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, Pedro Pascal, Katee Sackhoff all came out. We got them all on video when we put them up on our YouTube. What do you call them? Shorts?
Yes, YouTube Shorts. Yes, that's what they are. We're trying this new medium, you guys.
Yeah, go check it out and please comment. Well, that wraps up episode 410 of SKYwalking Through Neverland. We want to thank Spencer Jawitz and Frank Rich for coming on the show and giving us all those Boonta Eve updates and going over the celebration schedule. And we want to thank all of you Skywalkers who have contributed to our show, our Instagram page, YouTube, and anywhere else we have a presence. And once again, if you want to support us in any way, please, you have to go and comment on the post. Can't just like them anymore. There's a new algorithm. You can't just like something. You got to comment for it to count. So please help us out in that way.
Are you interested in Today in Star Wars History? Well, you can get autographed copies of Part 1 and 2 from skywalkingthrough.neverland.com/book. And right now there's no updates yet on our Star Wars fandom journal, but we will give those to you when we have them.
We did just submit a second draft to Amazon. Waiting to hear what they have to say.
Now, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Small World Vacation, for their support. Are you thinking of a trip to Disney parks? Well, you can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. And their vacation planning service is free. So check it out and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Now, just to remind you about supporting Skywalking Through Neverland, and you can do it in other ways, like becoming part of the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon, and the Skywalking Force has access to bonus content in the form of our Zoom discussions on the latest Disney Plus shows, such as Miss Marvel we had done recently, She-Hulk for the Marvel side, and on Star Wars we did Bad Batch, and soon starting Mandalorian.
Yes.
Now, bonus content begins at only $5 a month, so head over there to skywalkingforce.com and have a look at all of the options. And thank you once again to those who are already part of the Skywalking Force.
Now, we are part of the Skywalking Network.
Oh, I get to do this. Skynet.
where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes,
The Max EFX Podcast,
the Neverland Clubhouse,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
and the YouTube shows Collectopolis and Today in Star Wars History. Now, if you want to reach out to us on social media, it's very easy. We are at SKYwalking Pod for Twitter and Instagram. And you can go to our Facebook group and leave us a message or talk to us. And please post comments on any or all of our posts. Or if you have something lengthier to say, you can email us, share@skywalkingthrough.neverland.com. Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into the show. And
always remember
to cough in between takes.
That's what I did.
I know, and you remembered it. And
Neverland on Alderaan.
Some imagination, huh?
To our Skywalkers and Tweetwalkers, thanks for listening. Skywalking Through Neverland is created and produced by Richard and Sarah Woloski. Original music by Rob Dellinger. Creative consultant Mark Augushowitz. Technical advisor Peter Heitman. Facebook administrators Donald Wicks, Joey Pittman, and Norma Heitman.
Skywalking Through Neverland is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds, music, and clips played during this podcast are the property of their copyright holders. All original content is property of Skywalking Through Neverland, all rights reserved. Sorry, had to be said.
Almost as
Don't give it away.
March the 7th, 2023. But hold on one second here because we missed a part.
Oh. So we're going to have our fabulous voice actors. Blah, I can't speak.